At first there wasn't much, but then in 1440 BC there was this guy, Aristotle, who was the first to theorize about chemistry. He philosophically theorized that in the earth there were four elements: fire, water, earth, and air. Later, throughout the years 1000 to 1650 AD, alchemy became a largely practiced form of chemistry. The goal of alchemy was to synthesize gold from common elements as well as form the elixir of life. In 1637 to 1691 AD, Sir Robert Boyle formulated the fundamental gas laws and proposed the idea of small particles that combine to form molecules, thus disproving Aristotle's four-element theory. In 1733 to 1804, Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen, although Lavoisier gave it its name and described its role in combustion. He later discovered carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide. In 1742 to 1786, C.W. Scheele discovered chlorine and photochemistry. In 1743 to 1794, Lavoisier discovered nitrogen and described the composition of many organic compounds, sometimes regarded as the father of chemistry because of his extensive chemical discoveries. In 1748 to 1822, C.L. Berthollet discovered stoichiometry, the combining of weights of atoms, and corrected Lavoisier's theory of acids. In 1807, John Dalton proposed the atomic theory by linking invisible atoms into measurable quantities. His theory states that tiny particles called atoms make up all elements. In 1807 to 1810, Humphrey Davy discovered that electricity transforms chemicals through a process called electrolysis. In 1811, Amadeo Avogadro discovered that elements combine to form molecules. In the 1860s to 1870s, Dmitry Mendeleev organizes the 63 known elements based on increasing atomic weight, thus creating the periodic table, which is used in chemistry throughout the world and continues to be used today. In 1897, J.J. Thomson discovers the negatively charged particles in atoms, or electrons. This is the first subatomic particle. In 1909, S.P.L. Sorensen discovers the pH system and uses it to measure acidity. The system is still used in modern chemistry. In 1917, Ernest Rutherford discovers the proton, a positively charged article in the nucleus of the atom. This is the second subatomic particle. In 1932, James Chadwick discovered the third subatomic particle called the neutron, which has a neutral charge and is found within the nucleus. In 1938, Otto Hahn discovers the process of nuclear fission, encouraging more studies that led to more powerful nuclear weapons. Leading to today, more elements are discovered and created by scientists all over the world, including the element ununceptium in 2010 and ununpentium in 2003. In the year 2020, ammonium is discovered from archaebacteria in the depths of the ocean. It has no known use. In the year 2022, it is discovered by Canadian chemists that ammonium's atomic mass is abnormally large and does not fit into any groups or periods of the periodic table. In 2028, ammonium is discovered to be a subatomic element, meaning it is only found with a bond of 7. In 2035, ammonium defies the theory of energy, E equals mc squared, and is discovered to have the equation E equals mc cubed. This causes chemists to focus their studies on this element and discover all of its abnormalities. In 2037, ammonium is discovered to improve human health through consumption, allowing the average life expectancy to be raised in developed countries. In 2040, German chemists discover that ammonium ions have stronger bonds with one another than the typical atomic bond, and the ion more resembles a nucleus, and that when these bonds are split, a massive amount of energy is released, thus weaponizing the element. Eventually, each country gains possession of the weapon and also ammonium's other capabilities. In 2053, Slavic scientists, in an attempt to neutralize the element's power, bond the ions with cyanide, the ultimate destructor of life. This bond causes initial damage, but ultimately leads to regeneration of and beyond the initial destruction.